Right, I'm going to try it one more time.
Well, how was that? See, that sounds totally clear as anything now.
Aye, I think it was because the mic was turned round the wrong way.
Professionalism is incredible, so it is.
I've not touched the studio since the last time we've done this, so it's an absolute bomb site. So I'm going to give you a wee phone back.
Oh dear, right, no bother.
Sorted, mate.
How's that? Is that any better?
I heard you click in there, that was magical.
Alright, okay.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
Hi everyone and welcome to the Preseason 2018-2019 episode of the iReady podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and with me is my co-host Dave.
Good evening, Derek. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Yourself?
Yes, I'm doing very well, mate. Just excited for the new season coming up, as I am sure you are as well.
Pishing glitter.
Exactly. Yes, we're all aboard the Stevie G train now. I think all our doubts before are slowly disappearing with the amount of new signings that are coming in, which I'm sure you'll get into in a wee while.
Absolutely. Yes, we're coming with you for this pre-season episode a wee bit earlier than we wanted to, but as ever, Dave's on his holidays, isn't he, shortly?
I am, mate. Nothing tropical, just away down to the Lake District this time, but I think we had to do it. I think we really had to get this done early anyway, just because of the Europa League qualifying games as well, which are only just over a week away, maybe two weeks away, Derek, and pre-season friendlies, so I think we would have to get it done before then anyway. So didn't use my holidays as an excuse for anything, do you know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
Listen, I'll use your holidays as an excuse to moan about no getting away, so don't worry about that.
Some things never change, mate.
Yes, so we've got a wee bit to cover today, obviously about the signings and just about the ins and outs, and a wee bit of news at the end as well, and Dave's got a classic match. We will continue that as well.
Certainly have, yes. I found it quite easy this time actually, Derek. I had an idea of sort of roughly the year that I was looking for, and I came up with a cracker, so you hear that later on?
Well, I'm glad you found it easy, because I asked Dave to do a wee bit of homework and come up with around about 5 or 10 games for a wee idea I've got, and you could only come up with this one.
That's it, mate. I think I found about 3 that I could have done. I think it's going to take I'm going to have to think about another angle on how I'm getting my classic matches, but I'm sure I'll come up with something, mate. But just be thankful I've done something, mate.
Well, it makes a change, doesn't it? So.
Doesn't it really? No.
So we will go down the tunnel and onto the pitch. First episode, got it right, excellent.
Exactly, and what I was going to ask you is, are we going down onto the pitch? Because have you actually got any games to cover?
We don't know, but it's kind of we'll go trackside instead. You know, we'll go into the dressing room then.
So you done the intro perfect, but we're not actually going to be doing that section.
Well, we kind of are, aren't we? So it's
okay,
pitch
then.
Related, so. Or pish related is what it is.
Pish related, aye. Right, on you go.
Oh, don't get used to that, you'll be pausing for a pee in a minute.
Well, I've opened them halfway through my can of Pepsi Max. I think I can just about guarantee by the time I'm finished that I'll probably need a pee, mate. But you know that already. You're used to this totally, and as I say, you for one can never ever slag me off for the weak bladder issues that I've got, because it would make you the biggest hypocrite on the planet.
Oh, it would definitely, but it's not the point.
Definitely.
At least I empty my bladder before we do the podcast. So.
No, you're just sitting with an empty bucket in front of you. That's what it is.
Damn, rumble. Right, so obviously getting cracking on here. Obviously Steven Gerrard, he stepped into his role on June the 1st and he's confirmed his background team as well. Gary McAllister is going to be his assistant. Michael Beale, no relation to Ian, is going to be the first team coach.
Oh dear, you had to get that in there.
Had to be done. Tom Culshaw is the technical coach. Jordan Milson is the head of performance, and Colin Stewart will continue his role as the goalkeeping coach. So certainly posing for pictures in the steps at Murray Park. It was good to see, and certainly they all come with a good reputation.
Yeah, they do. Yep, they certainly do.
So it's good to see he's got his background team in, and I think it's a bit of a strange departure, I think, because the whole point of having a director of football was that you wouldn't need to change all the personnel like that as well. It would be just the head coach, but he seems to be taking more of Gerrard seems to be taking more of a managerial role than a first team coach role in the traditional sense. That so he obviously had to bring his own guys in there, didn't he?
Yeah, as you say, I think we thought the whole director of football thing was just so that if there was, we would just have to change the first team coach because everybody else was in place. So it was a bit of a strange one there. But we don't know what the terms of his contract and that's been. It's maybe been something that he's stated right at the beginning that's the people that he's wanted in. And that's what one of the conditions that he was going to get the job. We don't know the ins and outs. We just hope that they're all going to be successful. Derek, I didn't think we really care about anything else, do we?
Exactly, no. Next thing was that a new pitch has been put down at Ibrox, and it was a great time-lapse video put out by RTV as well. It was a fantastic thing to watch. We've seen the process of how it gets done. On that, I'm surprised it was a pitch getting relayed, because I felt that the pitch last year was absolutely stunning. It was like a bowling green for most of it.
Yeah, you had said that a few times, Derek. Obviously, I was only at about 3 or 4 games at home last season, but you were there for most of the home games, and you had said that regularly that the pitch was looking fantastic. So there was obviously some kind of problem with it. I don't know, but it certainly didn't look it on the TV or any time that I was there. So no. I don't know. I
mean, strangely, there was a poll done of Premiership players from the last year there, and they were to vote rate the pitches out of 5, and apparently I think it was Rangers got voted, I think was it 6th or 8th or something like that out of the 12, which I'm surprised at, because as I said, it looked in great condition, but maybe bowling greens don't add to good football.
Well, there you go. I don't know. Well, as I say, we're no professional players, mate. So grass is grass. I'm used to watching my laddie playing training in Shire Park in Grangemouth, which is like a tatty field. So anything would be good compared to that. But as you say, it's quite surprising that's there. But we don't know the conditions of the other pitches. Maybe it is poor compared to the rest of them. I don't know, but it certainly didn't look it.
Yep. And renovations are getting done to Ibrox again. Obviously, towards the end of last year, the roof work was getting done on the roof, and that should be finished by the start of the kick-off for the season, I believe. And also there was pictures of the gates getting painted and other areas outside Ibrox as well, which is great to see. It's been much needed to be done, and it's good to see that the money's been well spent there.
Yep, looking magnificent, Derek.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I heard that some of the concourses are getting not fully redone, but they're getting painted and kind of spruced up a wee bit.
Yeah, aye, they could be doing it. We were in the family section, and I know that they had been starting work in there with a lot of things. I think the big giant picture of Carlos Pena will be getting taken down the offers.
I think a lot of fans have also been wanting to see the big kind of now yellowy corrugated plastic at the side of the Broomlin and Copeland stand get redone as well. Maybe put that in blue, but I think that's maybe a project for later on, isn't it? So
possibly, yeah, possibly.
Yep, and probably the biggest thing in terms of renovations and all that is Murray Park has been renamed the Hummel Training Centre.
Yes.
Also, improvements have been made as well on the behest of Gerrard and his team. Basically, as you know, has been pointed out, it's quite amazing to think about that, but Auchenhowie is now 20 years old. since it got
my
put
God,
in. So
seriously?
it's crazy when you think about it, because obviously it was Advoca who installed it, so you're looking at it's nearly 20 years old, certainly. So
that's incredible, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously with technology moving on, and we know with Ibrox not getting looked after, Auchenhowie would have been the same. But as I said, the most important thing is the obviously the deal with Hummel to rename it the Hummel Training Centre. It'll still be named as Auchenhowie to us, or regardless. So it's money for nothing, and if they're pumping, there was no details about the nature of the deal in terms of the finances, but certainly you can imagine there's been a wee bit of money passed over there, hasn't there?
Yeah, that's good. Yep, I'm pleased with that.
Yep. And obviously the players jetted out to Spain for their pre-season trip, and notable absentees were Lee Wallace, Cardoso, Herrera. However, given the fact that Halliday was told to find a new club, he travelled as well.
Yeah, no, I seen that as he's not wanting to leave, as he's wanting to try and stay as long as possible, But I was quite surprised, Derek, with Cardoso, because when we did sign him last year, he did come with a reputation, and I thought this was maybe somebody that he would, run the rule over. He is still quite a young guy, but obviously not. I know they certainly be looking at his Instagram things that he's been working out constantly in the gym, and keep himself fit and things like that. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with these guys. I think we knew the writing was on the wall with Herrera, didn't we? And I think we all maybe thinking that Lee Wallace would maybe possibly get another chance, but it doesn't look as if it's going to happen.
No, we'll talk about him shortly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But it's been exciting in the transfer market as well, hasn't it? Obviously, we're linked with every player under the sun, especially any links to Liverpool whatsoever, and it's quite refreshing once again to see that largely the media have no got a clue, and they're just throwing out names willy-nilly that have links to Gerrard.
Yes.
Obviously, in the last podcast, we did say that Alan McGregor, Scott Arfield had signed permanent deals, and Jamie Murphy had been confirmed as a permanent deal as well.
Yep.
So, obviously, good to see there. Players that we've got coming in is Ove Ejaria, 20-year-old attacking midfielder. That's on a season-long loan from Liverpool. Connor Goldson, a 25-year-old defender from Brighton. That was a 4-year deal for around £3 million. Nikola Katic, a 21-year-old Croatian defender, £2 million for a 4-year deal.
And he's been capped at senior level as well, Derek, which is good as well. So certainly it sounds as if he's going to be quite some player for us. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
I mean, just the fact that he's Croatian, gives you a stunner straight away, doesn't it? There's a thing about Croatian players on our team, obviously given who we've had before.
Exactly.
But I mean, his attitude straight away in his press conference, he said that when he heard that Rangers were in for him, he told his agent to give him his boots and he'll run to Ibrox. Absolutely fantastic thing to hear. There's a player that obviously knows what it's all about straight away.
No, as I say, I'm quite excited about that one. I don't quite know much about the young guy for Liverpool, Derek. I don't know. And Connor Goldson, we keep being told, a big, strong, great in the air, which is what we were looking for. So, sort of no nonsense defender. That's just exactly the sort of profile that we're looking for. Yeah.
And the thing about it is most of these players are all over 6 foot.
Yes,
which is something that we've been lacking is a team full of height. We've had a team full of quite small players with the odd big player dotted about, but these players are all solid looking players, and which is good to see as well. And I think a feature of last year was the fact that we were bullied out of it. We were just
definitely
overpowered, and this is hopefully going to put a stop to it straight away.
Definitely, yep.
Certainly from what I've heard as well, Connor Goldson is the Brighton fans are not too happy that he left either, are they?
No, that's what I've been saying, but at the same time, going back to the player that we were just speaking about, Fabio Cardoso, we got told the same by some of the Portuguese fans last year, that they were quite miffed that he left because he was a real prospect. But we will put trust in the manager, Derek, that he's used his scouting system properly, and along with Mark Allen as well. That they've done their homework, and these guys that are going to be good is certainly on paper sound as if they're going to be two really sort of solid, no nonsense defenders, which is what we've been crying out for, like I said before. So, here's fingers crossed, Derek. Fingers crossed.
Yep. The last confirmed signing we've got here, and he's obviously going to be a Marmite character, I think, is John Flanagan, 25-year-old defender, signed on a 2-year deal on a free transfer. Obviously comes with off-the-field baggage, with obviously his conviction for domestic abuse. I don't know what to think about that one, to be honest. Again, I think it must really got to come down with you've got to trust in your manager. He's obviously got off the field issues, or he's had off the field issues. What's your kind of thoughts on this one? Because I'm kind of on the fence with this.
I honestly can't remember him, Derek, and apparently he played a lot of first team football, I believe, when Liverpool were, the season that they had when they almost won the league, meaning that Brendan Rodgers was his manager at the time. I can't remember much about him at all. I didn't even recognise the name, but when we signed him, going footballing wise, Derek, he's certainly got the potential and he's got the experience, and to pick, taking away everything that's happened off the field, to pick up a guy with, on paper, the experience and the amount of teams and that he's played for, to get him for nothing, is a good bit of business. But again, like yourself and like I'm sure every other Rangers fan out there, this stigma is going to follow him, isn't it? That's basically what he's going to be remembered for, and he's going to be known for. And playing for our club, it's going to also stick with our club as well. So I really don't know what to think about it either. I just hope that if he does play, he basically keeps himself to himself off the park and does the business on the park. I think that's really all we can hope for, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, certainly footballing wise, he's been plagued with injuries from what I've read, and like yourself, I don't know too much about him, but the stigma of the off the field issues. At the end of the day, he's been convicted, he's served his sentence, or got to think, well, the society's set up for, the whole rehabilitation thing. You've got to allow him to get on with his life in that respect. Yeah. Obviously regrettable what's happened, and you could maybe say you wouldn't be like signing a player with that kind of baggage, but you've got to say, right, it's done, let's move on with it. And what I've got to say though is, I will not be lectured by fans of teams who have players who are involved in racism, and they just totally blindside that. They don't care about that, but they're willing to have a go at our team and our player for something like this, when they don't look at their own players at first. And
Derek, I've got absolutely no idea who you're talking about.
And as well, the BBC as well is another one. Obviously, they've people from there have had debates about this on their radio stations as well. And once again, this is an organisation which allowed certain child abuse to go unchecked for a number of years, and they're still an organisation that's about just now, which is incredible. So again, I will not have them lecture me about anything like that. So. But it was to be expected, though, wasn't it?
It was. That's what I was about to say, Derek. Would the uproar about this be the same if he had signed for another club in Scotland? I really, really don't think so. But again, we're covering old ground, Derek, with the BBC, aren't we? And the same with the media in Scotland as a whole. We know their dislike for us, and they'll try everything they can to put a negative spin on it. But as I say, we just really need to try and get past all that as well. And I just hope the guy appreciates the fact that the manager has taken a gamble on him, and he's going to try and resurrect his career. And he's not playing down in England, but he's still playing for, one of the biggest clubs in the world. I hope he realises that, and he really goes out, and repays the faith in the manager. That's you would like to think that he's going to be doing that, Derek. So again, only time will tell.
Yep. And the last one here, it's been kind of rumbling on for, I think it was a couple of weeks ago we first heard of this, but then Gerrard's came out and confirmed the interest of him is Nigerian 21-year-old attacker Umar Sadiq.
Yeah, again, I know absolutely nothing about this guy at all, Derek, but if he has been playing any sort of first-team football playing for Roma in the Serie A, then he must be a good player, because it's a difficult league, especially if you're an attacker. So if you've been doing well in that league as an attacker, then you're some player. So again, he's said that he's interested. We'll just have to wait and see if anything materialises with that one. We are very light up front now, Derek, aren't we? I think we've got one recognised striker in there, and Alfredo Morelos in that squad. So it's something that I think he's identified straight away that we need. The defence needs completely shaking up and totally reshaped, and he's done that. He's done the same. He's got the goalkeeper, he's got the defenders, he's got the midfielder, he's got a winger. But he really does need to go out and get a striker, doesn't he? Because although, as I say, I know you've had your doubts with Morelos, I'm a big fan of his. I would be happy if it was him that was up front for us next season. But we do need other strikers as well. There was murmurings also, and again, this is maybe just hearsay, but there was a few journalists out there had said that apparently Jason Cummings, Steven Gerrard was looking for Cummings to come back on a permanent deal, but the difference in price for what we valued him to what Nottingham Forest value him was massive. So again, we'll just have to wait and see what materialises there. I don't know what you think. We spoke about Cummings before, Derek. Didn't he get enough game time? He really proved to me that he was worth holding on to. So I don't know if that is true or not. But certainly the guy for Roma, we'll just have to wait and see again if that is going to, if he's going to sign him or not. But good that we have been linked, but we've been linked to loads of players, like you said, haven't we? It's quite incredible again. But I've not had any sensational ones like Van Persie or Nani like we did the last two seasons. That's the only thing.
Well, I don't know. Solanke's pretty sensational, is it?
I wouldn't. Knowing the same as Van Persie or Nani, is he? He's certainly not in that bracket. But I was expecting quite a lot of big name players to be linked, especially a lot of guys that are in free transfers. But I think the biggest rumour, which is a complete non-starter because I don't even think we would be able to afford about a quarter of his wages, was Jack Wilshere. Right. But that's been about it, which I'm quite surprised about. But I've got no doubt there'll be more names will spring up there, Derek. I don't know what you think of the new signings like you have went over them. Is there any of them particularly that you're excited about seeing playing?
Obviously the Croatian, just the fact that he's Croatian, to be honest, but just obviously given the fact that who we've had before from Croatia, so
yeah,
and they've always been good quality. So
yes,
you've kind of got to quell any excitement as well, because with the last two transfer windows we've been in the same situation, haven't we? We've been signing players and they've all came with allegedly good pedigree and they've turned out to be shit. However, this time I think we've got a manager in place who knows what he wants. It's at the end of the day, it's a massive risk for him as well, because he wants to manage at the top level. He, by all accounts, wants to be the Liverpool manager at some point. So he's not going to want to fuck this up, is he?
No.
So
and likewise, the hierarchy at Liverpool don't want him to fuck it up either. Do you know what I mean? So I think he'll get a lot of support that way. That's how I think he's got experienced backroom staff that he's brought in will help him hugely, won't they?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there was something in training. There was a video that was taken in training today. I don't know who taken it, but it was being very authoritative with the players, and it was fantastic to see.
No ponies who are pretending there's little crazy jogs in, watching the ball. We go to win the ball all over the pitch. Okay? Get it in your heads now. Yes, Robin.
Any fears of the fact that he was only a under-18s coach before, and he might not be able to make that transition into the being a first team coach for more experienced players? Certainly from that video, any fears of that would go out the window, because he was stamping down his authority and it was great to see. And certainly from the fact that he's on on the park with the players during training is a complete departure from what a lot of modern managers do. They tend to sit back and allow their assistants to run training, but he was getting stuck in straight away, and maybe he's realised that that's what he needs to do with the players, especially at the start of it, to get the best out of them and show them exactly what he's planning to do, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, definitely. As you say, more sort of hands-on manager, so that's certainly encouraging, isn't it? And I think the players will all be revelling in it as well, because let's be honest, Derek, I mean, footballing wise, he's a world superstar, wasn't he? So I mean, a lot of these players will be delighted to be going in and taking training with him every day and listen to what he's got to say. If that does, I mean, I think you just have to look at the likes of Jordan Rossiter. I mean, I think that, Gerrard was like his hero, and now he's suddenly his boss and his coach. It's, it must be absolutely incredible for him. So I'm really, really excited now, Derek. I'm really looking forward to the first game, which is only a few weeks away, isn't it?
The first competitive game. We'll get into that.
Yes.
Just in terms of the players that have went out now, Russell Martin, his loan wasn't changed to a permanent deal, so he's the club. He stated that he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the club was all over the place. So basically, much like the way he played then, wasn't it?
He's fucking just like his fucking defending all over the place, definitely.
It's amazing, because the first 2 or 3 games he played, he was actually bloody good, and then it just went all tits up. So.
I know. No offence to you, Russell, but didn't come back.
Next one out the door is Robbie McCrory. He'll be playing for newly promoted Championship side Ayr United in a season-long loan. He had spent the last year on loan with Berwick Rangers. Next one here is Kenny Miller and Lee Wallace. They've had their suspensions lifted. Both were issued with fines. Wallace got a bigger fine than Miller's. I think that was because Miller's contract had basically expired and he was going anyway. But typical Kenny Miller, ran straight to the BBC for an interview. Basically, Wallace is an unknown quantity just now. Both are appealing their fines, so it's kind of indicating that Lee Wallace will probably never play for us again. Miller is also looking like he'll be named the player manager at newly promoted side Livingston. So, obviously Gerrard did come out and say, make a comment about him. He would like a fit Lee Wallace in his team, but he never kind of elaborated any further than that. So, as I said, given the fact that he's appealing his fine, which is his, certainly from looking at an employment point of view, is well within his rights to do so. But in a footballing terms, you can't see him coming back, can you?
No, it's. I think again we would all like to see him back if he was fully fit, Derek. But again, it's he's been out for so long now that we don't know what condition that he's going to be in, or both mentally and physically with everything that's going on. So it's maybe best for both sides if he did go. If you know what I mean, it's there's maybe no coming back for him now at all. And I know there's a lot of fans, and it is a shame because we all know that he is a quality player when he is fully fit. But I think it's maybe there's too much happened now and too much time's passed.
Well, my feelings on the whole situation and Lee Wallace as a player in general, but I'm not going to get dragged into that for the fear of getting called a left-wing fascist again. So,
certainly that was a highlight of my season last season, Derek. I'll never forget that one in a long time.
Neither will I. But I think saying he's a quality player, I think is. As I said, before, he's had maybe one great season or a couple of great seasons in the lower leagues, one semi-decent season in the Championship, and then he's been shit in the Premiership. So, and he's been injured last year. So, as you said, it's maybe best for all parties if he just leaves it there and walks out the door. So.
Yeah.
Next one here, I'm gutted about. Carlos Pena had his loan deal terminated with Cruz Azul. He did obviously then check himself into rehab. He's since completed that, and he's signed a new 6-month loan deal with Club Necaxa. So the chances are again that you'll probably never see him in a Rangers top again, which is kind of disappointing because as we've said before, there's a player there. He just had to stay obviously quite sober, but I think there was a stat somebody put out that he had played only something like, what was it, something like 9 games, and he had scored more goals last season than Scott Brown had, and he had played every single game of the season. So it was. We all knew that as you say, there was a player there. We knew that he could score goals. Derek, it was a strange position that he played. He was basically a striker that played in midfield, wasn't he? It was a strange sort of way, but it was a huge. When you think back now, Derek, when you think back after everything that's happened, it was a huge gamble to bring him in, both him and Herrera, and unfortunately it's not worked out. But I think that we're all a wee bit disappointed that it didn't work for him, because we all know that he could score goals, and there was just that wee glimmer sometimes that there was a quality player in there, but at the same time there was a huge chunks of his match that you thought he was just a total lazy bastard, so it's one of these things. But I don't think we'll see him back, will we? And the whole thing with him blowing his nose in the shorts, that's been enough for a lot of supporters out there that certainly we wouldn't forgive him for that. So again, maybe best for both parties if he, didn't come back and we tried to arrange something. I just hope that he does well for this club on loan, and they might want to buy him, but we'll just have to again wait and see what happens there. Yep. Next one was Joe Dodo. I can never say that guy's name. Joe Dodo has went on a season-long loan to Blackpool.
Yep. I, Derek, I'm super excited about this because a week on Wednesday, myself and my wife and kids, we always go down for a few days to Blackpool every year, so that the kids can go and spend a lot of money on a lot of shite down there. But we are staying, like we did last year, at the Blackpool FC Hotel. And if it's anything like last year, we got bed and breakfast. The hotel's lovely at the stadium. And if it's anything like last year, we will be having a breakfast with all the players, and I will be grabbing Joe Dodo for every photo opportunity I can if I see him. So I'm really looking forward to that. So Joe, if you're listening, I am going to be your stalker for 3 days.
You're a creepy bastard sometimes, you can.
Anything for a photo, mate. Anything for a photo.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one though, given the fact that he's spent last year out on loan. He's now going to spend the next year out on loan, and then he's got a season left. Potentially, it's a case of it's maybe putting him in the shop window, because if he does well at Blackpool, they'll maybe want to buy him.
I think that's all it is, Derek. Again, a player that we know there's a player in there. Certainly, again, another goal scorer, but I don't know. I was quite shocked. I thought maybe Steven Gerrard would have wanted another, a closer look at him, but it's not happened, and it looks again as if he'll never play for us again, Derek. But we'll just have to always remember him for his last minute the double at Partick Thistle that sent everybody daft, and the goals that he scored against Aberdeen as well. But wish him all the best.
Yep. Liam Kelly has signed a permanent 2-year deal with Livingston, so the chances he'll be playing against us next year.
Yes.
So wish him well in his endeavours, however not too well against us. Jason Holt, as I said, and Andy Halliday have been told to find new clubs, and Holt has joined Fleetwood Town on a season-long loan. Again, maybe a short window issue, because I think he's still got 2 years left in his deal. And thank fuck, Michael O'Halloran has left to Melbourne City for an undisclosed fee on a 2-year deal.
Yes, he's away, and I do believe that they actually put the wrong name in, didn't they, on their Twitter feed? Which is quite funny.
Scott O'Halloran, that's the Rangers supporting brother.
going back to Jason Holt, his new manager will be.
That'll be
Joey Barton.
Yes. And his assistant manager is obviously Clint Hill.
Is that right? I didn't know that. There you go. Oh well, okay.
So, another one here, Jordan Thompson, the guy who I think it was Warburton signed him and we had kind of high hopes from, but he never really broke into the first team. Jordan Thompson joins Blackpool on a 2-year deal after being released at the end of last season. So maybe have breakfast with him and ask him where it all went wrong.
Exactly. I mean, he was a player that they really were tipping for a bright future, Derek, and they were actually talking about him playing for the Northern Ireland first team. But again, maybe if he's got international aspirations, it's maybe a good move for him, Derek, because I know that Blackpool are playing in the lower leagues, but they are a big club with a big support, so it's as you say, it's maybe it'll be a fresh start for him as well. Just have to wish him all the best as well.
Yep. And another one here, which is another loan sign-in, is Ryan Hardy went on a season-long loan to Livingston also. Disappointed about that. Mm-hmm. Disappointed about that because he was certainly banging them in last year, and I would have thought that Gerrard would have wanted another, especially since we're that light up front, another decent striker. He did, however, pen a year's extension, so he's now here until 2020. So again, that's another.
This could actually be a good move for him, Derek, because it's going to give him the opportunity to be playing against players in the Premier League rather than in the Championship now. So we'll see how well he does there. I've got a feeling he'll do quite well, Derek. So that could actually be a good move for us and him. So we just have to hope that he does well also. I don't know, will he play against us or will that be a part of the deal that he's not allowed to play against his parent team? Or I'm not quite sure how it works.
I think we had a couple of players like that last year who couldn't play against their parent club, right. I think so, and that was us obviously. So it just depends on the terms and conditions of the loan. Certainly in any football manager loan deal I've done, as I've said, they can't play against us. So.
And football managers always right, Derek.
Damn right, it's like the best. Okay. Couple of players were kind of unknown about at this point, as inquiries did come in for Jack Anick and Bruno Alves. However, apparently wages and transfer fees were too costly for the inquiring clubs, which is quite good to see that we're not willing to allow the players to go for peanuts, because certainly you would have thought Jack Anick would have been out the door, considering Shaggers just came back in, and that's probably him further down the pecking order now. So and Bruno Alves, obviously, he's still got a year left to run, I believe, and you would have thought that he would have maybe left because he never had a great season last year, but certainly he's out of the World Cup just now. Which is quite funny. A Celtic player, a Celtic Twitter account thought it was quite funny that Bruno Alves never joined Rangers in their training camp out in Spain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because he's in Russia, pal.
I did see that. I thought that at first that it must be a piss take, but I think with the amount of replies that there has been, it genuinely wasn't, and it was just somebody that made a complete tit of themselves. So get it right up, yeah. Yep.
And obviously who seems to be staying is Windass and Tavernier. However, Cardiff did apparently put a £1.5 million bid in for Windass, and that was apparently knocked back from what I've heard. So it's good to see that we're not allowing players to go for peanuts once again. I mean, certainly towards the end of last year, you would have said, bite the hand off somebody who's willing to offer 1.5.
That's right, I know.
Again, it's one of these players who there is something there. He just doesn't show it all the time when he's a frustrating player. But I think we commented last year the fact that he's not getting played in his right position, which I think both of us think there's kind of out-and-out striker, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, there was a period last season, Derek, where he was fantastic for a period of like 6 or 7 games where he was playing just behind the striker. He was playing really well, and that's, when we thought, we finally found his, correct position, and then, it kind of went, from him. But that was the same with all the rest of the team. They all just kind of collapsed at the same time. So, but as you say, it's good that there definitely is a player there. There's potential there, and hopefully, Steven Gerrard can unlock the full potential that he's got there and get him played even better than he has been.
Yep. So, just getting into the games to come here, the first game we've got is a friendly against English League 2 side Bury, which is on Friday the 6th of July. Kick-off is 19:15. Tickets are on sale now, and I decided I was going to get tickets for that as well. So
excellent, Derek, good stuff.
Yep. Obviously not renewing my season ticket. I thought, right, I'm going to try and get to as many games as I can, just the odd game here and there, but obviously with the season ticket issue being so great demand, then that's going to be quite difficult. So obviously the draw for the first round of qualifying for the Europa League has been. First game is on Thursday the 12th of July. It's at home to Macedonian side FK Skopje, if that's how you pronounce it. Tickets will be on sale on the 2nd of July for season ticket holders and the 3rd of July for general sale. I can't imagine there'll be many that go on general sale given the fact that the season tickets are massive as well. The second leg was meant to be played on the 19th, but apparently there's been a few Macedonian sides being drawn in that round, so our game got moved to Tuesday the 17th of July. Should we get through this, and hopefully it's not another Progress Niederkorn situation, but should we get through this, we will either face CS Petrocub or NK Osijek, and I have no idea who they are. So
the Osijek team, I believe, are quite a decent standard of teams, but Derek, I'm not looking that far forward going by the horror show last year. I'm just concentrating on this first match, and I'm getting a really good performance and a really good victory as well, like which should have happened last year.
Yep. The last confirmed game before the main season starts is Sunday the 29th of July. It's a friendly at Ibrox against Wigan. That's a 3 o'clock kick-off. No ticket details on sale yet. The draw for the Premiership got done as well. Start off our campaign away to Aberdeen on the 5th of August. Next is 11th of August at home to St Mirren. Then it's the 25th of August away to Motherwell, and the first Old Firm game, or sorry, should I say the Glasgow Derby of the season, yes, is the 1st of September. It's away at Parkhead, which is a fucking pain in the arse because my sister gets married that day, so it'll be phones in the sporring kind of job.
Exactly,
again. Yes.
We've all done that before, Derek. Going back to the games, I actually had a bit of a laugh to myself because there is a guy there is an actual Aberdeen fan at my work, Derek. Can you believe that? Somebody actually admits to supporting Aberdeen. But at my work, and as usual, he is rabid. He hates Rangers with a passion, and he tried to make a wee smart comment, and he got battered down, by the rest of the guys in there when he actually turned around and said that there's been a stitch up with Steven Gerrard, given that he's got to go to Aberdeen away in his first game, and then a few games after that away to Celtic. And I says, what are you talking about? I says, that was two easiest games last season was when we played Aberdeen away. I says, and that was with Pedro as the manager and then Graham Murray. I says, I don't know what you're on about. And then he got sort of slapped down with a few other ones because he was reminded of the game at Ibrox as well, where we battered them, and a certain fat alcoholic Mexican player took the piss out of his team also, so he was left with his tail between his legs at that point. But no, it will be a difficult start for him away to Aberdeen, but again, it's I didn't see that as being a major issue for us if we can go there last season and play well in the two matches. So again, we'll wait and see. We'll take these first games as they come in, and we'll look forward to it, Derek.
Yep, can't wait. So that wraps up the trackside section, we'll call this one. It's now time for the classic match.
And there it is! The final whistle's gone! Rangers have won the European Cup Winners' Cup!
So Dave, we were talking about Aberdeen 2 seconds ago. You've got a game against Aberdeen this time, haven't you?
I do. This was when Aberdeen were actually, a bit of a threat to us at one point, Derek. It wasn't too long after, really. It wasn't that many years after when Aberdeen were the sort of top team in Scotland. It was a way back on the 1st of September 1992, where Rangers took on Aberdeen at Ibrox. The Rangers team that day, a lot of this is sort of golden era, certainly of my time, Derek. Players in goal was Andy Gorham, right back there was John Brown, left back David Robertson, Richard Gough and Dave McPherson in the centre of defence, and then into midfield Nigel Spackman, Ian Durrant, Ian Ferguson, Ali McCoist, Alexei Mikhailichenko and Peter Hoostra were playing for Rangers that day. Aberdeen players, well-known names: Theo Snelder, Stephen Wright, Roy Aitken, Paul Mason, Mixu Patalainen, Ian Jess, Duncan Shearer, to name but a few. So a lot of international players there for Aberdeen, Derek. So it was going to be a good match. Certainly in the first half, it was a first half to forget, where Aberdeen were clearly the better team, having all the chances. Started off with Ian Jess with an incredible turn and shot at the edge of the box, which Andy Gorham pulled off a great save. Ian Jess was a fantastic player at that point, Derek, a regular international, scoring goals for Scotland as well as at Aberdeen. But then Aberdeen actually took the lead on the 28th minute.
Persons claiming he was pushed. Referee allowing play to go on. Patalainen getting in the cross. Headed away by Gough, only as far as Aitken. And Roy Aitken scores a sensational goal for Aberdeen. Well, he struck that one perfectly. 28 minutes.
A great goal by somebody who wasn't known for scoring goals, or he was basically just known for kicking folk, and that was Roy Aitken. But he scored a volley for the edge of the box and right into the bottom corner to make it 1-0 to Aberdeen, and quite rightly so. Like I said, Aberdeen were the better team. Rangers did try and get back into the game straight away after that. Peter Hoostra at the edge of the box with a curled shot, which was heading into the top corner, but it was deflected wide for a corner. 35th minute, Ali McCoist had a header, but it was well over the bar from a Peter Hoostra cross. And then just before half time, the only other chance that Rangers had, and it was a half chance, was a long shot from Alexei Mikhailichenko, but it was well past the post. So Aberdeen really in control of the first half and deserved going in 1-0 up at that point. But how things can change at half time, because Rangers came out all guns blazing into the second half, and it was only 8 minutes after half time that Rangers pulled level on the 53rd minute.
Now the fans getting more behind them. John Brown still well forward, chest it down to Durrant. Mikhailichenko, Durrant. Oh, wonderful goal by Ian Durrant. 53 minutes gone. And surely now that will lift Rangers out of their lethargy. At last, a piece of magic. Mikhailichenko was involved with Durrant. Durrant coming forward there, played it to the Ukrainian. It was laid off to him. And a lovely shot there, right into the corner of the net, giving Snelders no chance. Durrant is the hero of Ibrox for the second week running. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1.
It was actually John Brown who'd stayed up field for an attack. He passed the ball to Ian Durrant, who found Alexei Mikhailichenko on the edge of the box. He played a quick 1-2, and Ian Durrant with a fantastic low curling shot past Theo Snelders to make it 1-1 to Rangers. Great move. Then just after that, Alexei Mikhailichenko, he was looking for a goal of his own at this point. He beat his man at the edge of the box, absolutely sold him a dummy big time, played the ball back to Robertson on the edge of the box, who shoots, and it deflected to Ali McCoist, who then had a great shot, point blank, but kind of straight at Theo Snelders, and he saved it and put it over the bar. McCoist really should have scored at that point. It was right in front of goal. Then Roy Aitken doing what we all were expecting of him, a really cynical foul on Richard Gough. He'd already been booked at that point, and it was absolutely shocking that he didn't pick up his second yellow card at that point, but he didn't. But then on the 61st minute, Rangers took the lead.
Away by McPherson. Now it's Gerrard. Good ball through to Ali McCoist, who's onside. McCoist! 2-1 to Rangers! Well, Ali McCoist, who had a lean afternoon, strikes again. That's his 9th goal of the season, 61 minutes. Ali McCoist, look at the delight on his face. Steven Gerrard taking more and more of a grip in this game. Sent the ball through to him. He was played on side by Irvine. He had the pace to get away from the Aberdeen defender, and he slotted the ball brilliantly behind Theo Snelders.
Ian Durrant with a fantastic ball. He's seen Ali McCoist beating the offside trap just inside his own half and played the ball through, and Ali McCoist ran through 1-on-1 with Theo Snelders and didn't do anything fancy, just slots the ball past Snelders into the back of the net to make it 2-1 to Rangers. Then Aberdeen had a chance. Ian Jess with a shot, great save by Andy Gorham, and then Rangers straight up the park again. David Robertson, he flashed the ball right past the goal mouth, and Peter Hoostra slid in at the back post and just missed the ball. Really should have scored there. And then Aberdeen reduced to 10 men, and it wasn't Roy Aitken, surprisingly. It was actually Duncan Shearer who had received his second yellow card for fouling Ian Durrant. John Brown then had a fantastic goal line clearance after Andy Gorham saved an initial shot, and it then rebounded to Ian Jess, but John Brown managed to get a foot to it and clear it off the line. But that was it for Aberdeen, because it was all Rangers pressure after that. We had a fantastic cross to Ali McCoist, who then had a great shot which just skimmed over the top of the bar. That could have been another one for McCoist. And then on the 87th minute, we managed to go even further ahead and kill off the game.
Mikhailichenko, and that puts it beyond doubt. A magnificent strike by Alexei Mikhailichenko. He thundered that ball beyond Theo Snelders. And that's 3 excellent second half goals by Rangers. It was McPherson who played it right across the face of the penalty area. It was partially cleared by Irvine and drilled home by Alexei Mikhailichenko.
It was actually Dave McPherson on the right wing, believe it or not, with a great cross. It was headed out to the edge of the box by the Aberdeen defenders, but there was Alexei Mikhailichenko with a glorious low sort of volleyed shot past Theo Snelders into the bottom corner to make it 3-1 to Rangers. That really did, that was the game ended. Aberdeen knew they had absolutely no chance. It was a great move and a fantastic goal. And then another fantastic move there, the ball in defence which found Mikhailichenko in midfield. Richard Gough actually sprinted from his own area through, heading towards the opposition goal. Mikhailichenko found him. He then sort of messed up his first touch, but found Ian Durrant. Ian Durrant with an incredible cross into the box, and Ali McCoist with a flying header, but the ball come cannoning back off the post. McCoist could easily have had a hat-trick on that day, but he just had to stick and be happy with his one goal. It was a tale of two halves, Derek. A very poor first half, but an excellent second half for Rangers. Some great goals and some classic play and great players on show. So again, if you get the opportunity to go and watch it, go back and see some of the quality players that we did have at that point. And it was good to see the likes of Alexei Mikhailichenko turn on the second half, because he was a really silky player, when he was on form. So, yep, great game. Did you sit and watch it, Derek?
I did, yeah, and you stole the words from my mouth about the game of two halves there, because it was the old cliche of that, wasn't it? But
it certainly was, yeah.
Some fantastic goals anyway to come back and then end up winning 3-1, sorry.
Yes, certainly was, yeah.
The one thing that struck me, and I can't remember ever noticing it before, is the fact that the stands in Ibrox at that point, obviously the pitch hadn't been lowered at that point, and there was no seats in front of the stands, so there was just that big white wall where it was, so the fans were actually sitting a wee bit further raised up off the pitch level, weren't they?
That's right, yes, yeah. Right.
Something I've never got to experience Ibrox at that point, so it was just weird to see when just noticed it watching the game.
And it was I'm trying to think back to that match, but I don't know if it was still the different coloured sections in the stands. You know, there was the sort of brown section and the orange section, the yellow section, and all of that. But I can certainly remember that as well. That was quite iconic. But obviously, I think it looks better now that it's all royal blue. But still a wee bit of tradition there when you look back and you see how it was originally when the stand was built. So, no, as I say, it's certainly a great game to go back and watch. And I urge all the listeners out there to go and give it a watch, because it was certainly enjoyable to see the goals when they went in, and seeing the likes of McCoist and that as well on forum. So no, great stuff.
Yep. And it was just quite weird as well seeing the commentator, I think it was Jerry McNee, give a stat that Aberdeen, I think, had got the better of Rangers over the past 30 odd games or something like that, compared with
I think that
was Rangers, Aberdeen in the kind of their heyday, wasn't it?
I think I've got the stat here which said that Aberdeen had won 31 of the previous,
that was it.
Or they had won 31 ties and we had only won 18.
Yeah.
So but then, as I say, we went on about a 20-year winning spree against Aberdeen, didn't we? So just up till recently, Aberdeen had never beaten us at Ibrox in about 30 odd years, I think. So we certainly we've got that stat in our favour now, Derek, haven't we?
Absolutely. So another great classic match there from Dave, and if he gets his finger out his arse, we've got a wee bit of a treat for you for the actual main first episode of the next season. So
we'll wait and see.
I'm not holding my breath.
And either am I. Don't just please don't get excited about that one. I've got a lot of homework to do. It's not, as I say, Derek, it's not about it's actually just about finding the classic matches rather than me doing the work. It is rather difficult, but no, we'll see what I can come up with. I'll certainly put some time and effort into it for a change.
See, I've outed you on air now, so you've got to do it. Yep, so we'll now move into the news. Right, as ever, a few bits and pieces to cover on the news, and obviously we've got a couple of bits of sad news to start off with. Penalty king Johnny Hubbard sadly died at the age of 87 after an illness there. He joined in 1949, he won 3 titles, and he's called the penalty king because he scored 65 of his 68 penalties, which is an incredible record, isn't it?
Incredible, yeah, it really is. Absolute legend of the club, Derek. I mean, obviously we never got to see him play, but we've certainly heard a lot about him, and I think it speaks volumes for the man that even guys in our generation had heard of him and knew of his exploits for Rangers. So a really sad time for his family and for everybody associated with the club, and I'm sure that Rangers will put a lot out remembering Johnny and his achievements that he had for the club. And that stat that you gave us there, Derek, that's quite incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't think of many other players that have got stats like that in terms of penalties. So
incredible.
Yep. Next one here as well, albeit he's probably better known for being an Aberdeen legend, but former Rangers player Neil Cooper again sadly died after collapsing in a stairwell. He was only 52 as well, so I don't know the circumstances of that, but again, no age for somebody to die. And
no, scary stuff. Yeah,
he played between 1988 and 1990 for us. So
that's right. Yep.
Right, getting on to the juicy stuff here in terms of Dave King and these exploits with the SFA and SPFL. You know, I'm loving this attitude with Rangers now. He issued a statement over the SPFL chairman Murdoch McLennan over business links with Dermot Desmond. There's been clear business links there. He's apparently been documented in the Irish news as well about some dodgy things are going on with his company. Alleged dodgy things.
Allegedly, with stress.
And the SPFL claim that the board members of the SPFL were informed and there's no conflict of interest, and McLennan behaved impeccably over the issue. King refuted this and wanted an independent investigation. Dave King has also called for an investigation over the SFA non-executive director Gary Hughes due to his comments about us in a 12-year-old article calling us the Great Unwashed. I find that comment incredible, considering that's what we call Celtic in the fans. I think he's getting mixed up here. But
it's quite funny that that's the first thing that every Rangers fan thinks, is if they say, well, wait a minute, that's what we call it. That's not what we've called.
Yep.
You hit the nail right in the head there, Derek.
Basically, Hughes has eventually decided to step down and not apply for his position next season as a non-executive director.
Strange that, eh?
Yep. Rangers have called for an investigation into his influence on the trumped-up SFA charge relating to the small tax case, which we obviously documented last episode. Basically, the whole point is that he shouldn't have had any influence over it anyway, because he's a non-executive director. So that's what, from what I've read into it and what a few people I've seen say about it. So he shouldn't have had any influence anyway. But you know, there's rumours that he has, or alleged rumours that he has done this, been involved in getting these trumped up charges done. Which, on a side note, Rangers are in a hearing with the SFA tomorrow about it, or it'll be today by the time this podcast comes out. So it'll be interesting to see the outcome of that.
Okay.
A very strange thing as well, though, however, the compliance officer who actually issued the charge has mysteriously decided out of the blue to step down his position before the season starts as well. So it's awfully strange that the two people involved in this charge have just mysteriously stepped down, isn't it?
Do you think the House of Cards is falling, Derek?
Yeah, I think it could be. You know, it's you know, Celtic have had far too much influence over the SPFL and the SFA for a long time now. Certainly, David Murray was accused of having the media in his back pocket a long time ago, but he certainly never had any undue influence over the SPFL, and he never asserted himself in influential positions like Celtic and their you know, chairman and executive directors have done.
Yeah,
so.
And passing any laws and rules, you know, regarding other clubs as well.
Exactly.
So it's as you say, it's strange how, you know, these two people are suddenly in the limelight, and now they're suddenly resigning and, you know, not going back for their old jobs, you know, and stuff like that. It's I get a funny feeling, Derek, that we're maybe going to be getting some, you know, some truth's going to be getting broken soon, that there's maybe going to be some things coming out which are going to be very uncomfortable reading for certain clubs within Scottish football, and I'm not talking about Rangers. So here's hoping. We've been waiting a long time for, you know, something to come out, so we'll just have to wait and see what gets said. But as you say, I'm loving the fact that Dave King as well is like a dog with a bone, isn't he? He's just no fun. Doesn't matter who says it. He's really no giving a fuck, is he? He's wanting answers, and he's going about it as if you know, in the right ways, and he's being extremely persistent. So it's good to see, isn't it?
Well, it's about time that they started defending us that way. So,
yep.
As you said, good to see. The one concerning thing, though, is that the compliance officer is going to have a hand in who is appointed the next compliance officer. So that's much like, you know, Celtic Peter Lawwell appointing SFA Peter Lawwell, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the
exactly
same thing again. So 'cause
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Vince Lunny as well. When he stepped down, he got to appoint who's going to succeed him. So
Yeah.
again, it's just one Celtic-minded person to another. So
allegedly.
Yes. No, it's not allegedly. It's fucking. Talking of the great unwashed and Celtic, Rangers have decided to cut Celtic's ticket allocation from 9,000 fans to around 900. That's on the back of an unprecedented season ticket demand. Certainly we had a renewal rate of 400,000, a renewal rate of 40,000, and obviously we decided to open up the Broomloan stand to all fans now, so they can buy all tickets for there. Within 25 minutes of Rangers issuing that statement, Celtic had a very short and a very hurried looking statement out saying that they will reciprocate. Ultimately, Celtic didn't need to issue any statement, let alone 25 minutes later. They issued a statement on the back of us, or on the back of another team, about the other team talking about their own fans, not about Celtic. So it's quite incredible that they felt their noses put out a joint about that. So a lot was said in social media about that, and I think some fans, it'll affect away fans, absolutely. Their away allocation will get cut, but again, it'll only be for that one away trip to Celtic. And the greater good is Rangers, and if they can't see past that, then that maybe says more about them than actually thinking about Rangers as a whole, because we're doing it for Rangers, for ourselves this time. And you'll get a tenfold decrease in tickets to Celtic's game, but that's the only one that's going to affect. However, other teams have kind of, their fans have kind of alluded to wanting to do that the same, but again, the other team's chairman can't do that because they need the blue pound to come in. They make their revenue off Rangers and Celtic travelling to them, so they can't do that. Yeah,
it'll be the same as usual, Derek. There'll be a lot of threats made about ticket allocations getting cut, but as you say, at the end of the day, these chairmen will be like, oh well, we really do need to keep the money flowing, and we are keeping a lot of these clubs alive, so they'll certainly no cut their noses off despite their face, will they? So,
well, they're saying that they've done it once with not voting Rangers back into the Premiership,
and look how that turned out.
Well, yeah, I mean, Scottish football's thriving, isn't it? So
exactly. Well, it is now.
Aye, now that we're back, aye.
The lower leagues thrive, Derek, but the top league didn't. So
I mean, that's the one thing that's kind of came out of this, which I'm absolutely delighted about, is we were able to help other teams significantly out. I mean, some of these teams, that was their revenue. Rangers come to them just once, let alone twice. That was their revenue for about 3 years, they said.
Yep, exactly.
That's something, to be proud of, I think. It was painful for us, but proud for as a club.
Yep, definitely.
Moving on now, Graham Murty has returned to his position as under-20s boss. A lot of fans unhappy about this, as the under-20s seem to have been doing well without him, but ultimately had to be offered the position back, as he was effectively only a secondment he was on to the management. So legally they had to at least offer him. It was up to him to take it back. So, certainly I have no ill will against the guy. Certainly he was put in a position which he maybe ultimately shouldn't have been, and he maybe should have been relieved of it sooner than he was, but it's done and dusted now. Next thing here, I've got Club 1872 will be investing £1 million in the up-and-coming share issue after balloting members if the project money should be used for the share issue also. It was something like 96% voted in the favour of this. A few disgruntled voices, which I can understand why, because if you were part of that, say 4% that only put their money into the projects, well, your money's now getting used for shares. Ultimately, it can only be a good thing, though, in a way, the fact that they are going to be investing, and it's going to keep the shares within the fans, as it were.
Yes.
Still doesn't actually change my opinion on becoming a member, mind you, because there's still a lot of questions. But
No, it is encouraging for them, Derek, and as you say, we have been rabbiting on for years now that we want more fan involvement when it comes to the ownership of the club. So that's the way that I'm seeing it, as going to be a fans based, but that are going to be in control of a large number of shares, and £1 million of £1 million, isn't it? I mean, it's money that's going to be getting invested in the club as well. So I know I'm happy with that. I know that you and a lot of other people have got a lot of questions that still need to be answered, and are happy with a lot of things. But that aside, it is quite positive for them, I think.
Yep. Next thing, good news for the club. We've signed a 3-year deal with Thomas Cook Sport, who will provide official travel products for our supporters, both domestically and European games, as well as travel for the first team. We were previously in a partnership with them before as well.
Yep, okay.
So it's good money coming into the club there.
Certainly, yes.
A few other bits and pieces, non-Rangers related here. Kind of non-Rangers related anyway. Former players Fraser Aird and Nicky Clark have went to the dark side and signed for Dundee Hibs.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep. Mojny has, funnily enough, left them, and he's joined Tunisian champions Esperance.
Okay.
Another former Rangers player has joined the dark side. Neil Alexander has joined the Dundee Hibs as part of their coaching staff.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He was part of the Livy coaching staff last year.
Yes.
Cameron Bell, I refuse to call him Cammy Bell, but Cammy Bell.
Okay.
Cameron Bell has joined Partick Thistle.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that either. Yep. There you go.
And thank fuck, he should be off our airwaves. Terry Butcher is going to become the Philippines national team coach.
All right, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how long that lasts, Derek. That might not be a permanent thing. You know how these things work. With going away to football, if he doesn't make his first tournament, then he'll be off and he'll be back in our airwaves probably. But we'll wait and see what happens. I don't know if you've heard anything, Derek. The only thing that myself and I'm sure you and the vast majority of Rangers fans out there have been looking for the club to come out and try and confirm anything to do with the new Hummel strips. I think we've been watching Denmark in the World Cup, and their strips are absolutely cracking, and I think I put a wee tweet out saying that I would be delighted if the new Rangers strip was just a royal blue version of the Denmark strip that's out there just well. But no heard anything, Derek. It's very, very quiet. I'm sure it's going to be huge. I don't know if you've read anything anywhere. There's been a lot of rumours that we can't do anything until the 1st of August. Have you heard anything different to that?
No, nothing confirmed. I think it was all to do with the Puma deal ending and the Sports Direct deal ending. So it's something. It's
certainly. Sorry, I know that the Sports Direct deal has now gone, and our sort of official partner for selling the strips is going to be JD Sports. But I've not heard anything apart from that either, so I just hope they get their finger out, or at least give us an idea when these strips are going to be available.
Yeah, I mean, certainly Hummel did kind of tease that the fact that it was going to be an orange strip, the fact that they had a Hummel badge with Rangers and it kind of flashed orange. I know that's going to be a massive seller.
Next question though, with these friendlies coming up next week in the European games, is it going to be last season's Puma kit that they're wearing, or is it going to be the new Hummel kits that they're going to be wearing?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I heard something that was. I can't remember if it was going to be the new top, or I can't remember if it said it was going to be the old top or not. It's one of these things though. It kind of got to the stage a couple of weeks ago on Twitter and social media. It's like, I just wish folk would shut up about the strips and just, things will happen when they happen. And I can understand the kind of fervour around it and wanting to buy the strips, because certainly from a financial point of view, while the transfer window's open, if you can get the money into the club straight away with buying the strips, then that'll be more transfer money that the team have got to play with, wouldn't it be?
Definitely, and I think everybody's just sick and tired of seeing all the other teams that have released their strips already, Derek, and folk buying them, and we're just wanting to be the same. I'm desperate to go out and buy the strip for my laddie, and and I'm hoping that the top's really smart, because I would buy one, for myself, but I actually think it's quite a big newsworthy thing, because there'll be such a clamour for tops. I'm sure it'll be, they'll be sold out straight away, and they'll have to get more in. So I think it's massive. I think it's huge news. I mean, just remember last season, Derek, when the Sports Direct deal, when they changed all that, it was huge news, and it gave everybody a lift. And that was absolutely nothing to do with the playing side of things at Rangers. It was all to do with that. So this is huge news. I know you're saying that you wish everybody would shut up about it, but I actually think it's really, really big news, and everybody's looking forward to the strips coming out so they can go out and buy them. So I really hope we hear something sooner rather than later. I was hoping that it was going to be out this month, but again, it's just very quiet, isn't it?
It's maybe also something to do, if you've got to remember, when we could finally buy strips again, the manufacturers were completely caught unaware, and remember how long we couldn't buy, and I don't even know if we can buy old last season's strip again yet, if it ever went back on sale. But it's maybe you've got to think that the manufacturers are making sure they've got enough stock, because it is going to sell like hotcakes, isn't it?
It is, definitely, yeah.
I think any merchandise again is going to go mad again. So especially if you think the orange top, I mean, it's very unusual for me to buy a home top and an away or third top.
Yeah.
Certainly if that the orange top is the case, and if it looks as cracking as some of the mock-ups that people have been doing, then it's going to be fantastic. So. And
if Hummel also do a rubber duck, that would have to be a must buy, wouldn't it, Derek?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So it's got to that stage again.
This is the stage I dread. When I think to myself, is Derek going to get a chap at his door by the authorities to say, what the fuck have you been looking at on the internet?
Man shoves giant aubergine up his bum to try and cure constipation.
Right, okay.
A 50-year-old Chinese man had to go to hospital after inserting an aubergine so far inside him it was pressed against one of his lungs. The man claimed he'd inserted the vegetable into his rectum as he was trying to cure constipation.
I'm sure it was, right, okay.
The vegetable had then apparently moved up along his intestines before reaching his upper abdomen. The doctor stated when they found the aubergine it had nearly reached his heart. Apparently the man didn't visit the hospital until 2 days after he'd put the vegetable inside himself, and then claimed he thought the vegetable could act as a laxative to help him with his constipation.
Yes, do you think it's taking him 2 days to come up with that explanation as to why there was a vegetable stuck up his backside?
I can quite imagine that. The unnamed man had to undergo surgery for the aubergine to be removed, which after a CT scan confirmed the vegetable in question was 30 centimetres long.
Holy shit!
Well, that's what he was trying to do.
No, I think it was the absolute opposite that he was trying to do. I think he was trying to put it in there rather than get it out.
Well, at least he never said he accidentally fell on it.
It's the fact that he's thought to himself, right, what's the most plausible excuse here for me sticking this up my backside, rather than him saying he's just a dirty perv.
So, on that note, as ever, you can check us out. Can I say that?
Oh dear, I've got a horrible vision in my head now, I really have.
I'm pretty sure Gordon Ramsay used to have a restaurant called Aubergine as well.
Really? Oh dear, it's just that whole thing of him saying to yourself, right, I need to think of something really plausible here. Really plausible. What am I going to say? It's taken them 2 days to come up with that before going to the hospital. Oh dear. Sorry. Right, on you go.
So, on that note, as ever, you can check out our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/iReadyPod. Our Twitter account, which is @iReadyPod. We've got an Instagram, YouTube as well, and check out our website, which is iReadyPodcast.wordpress.com. Dave and I shall be back probably just after, well, hopefully just after the first European game, or probably after the second European game, for the fact that it's only 5 days later, but we'll see how scheduling works out. Dave is about to go off, as he said, on another holiday, so it'll be a case of we'll be keeping up to date on Twitter and keep in contact on that, and we will be back shortly.
Definitely. Just a wee shout out, Derek. You know me, how I love to name drop, and I love a wee photograph and all of that. So I had the pleasure of meeting a few ex-Rangers legends a couple of weeks ago when friend of the pod, Graham from Epic Promotions, invited me along to the Scotland 98 reunion dinner, and I got to meet a few of the ex-players, Davy Weir and Gordon Dury and Colin Hendry. And Colin Hendry assures me that he will be listening and downloading our podcast, and I gave him one of our wee business cards, which he was more than happy to put in his wallet, and as I say, assures me that he was going to listen to the podcast. So if you are listening, Mr. Hendry, I hope you've enjoyed.
Absolutely fantastic, and the last 5 minutes there about aubergines are not typical of this podcast, so
They really are.
So it's thanks for listening and goodbye.
Yes, it's great to be back, folks, and looking forward to the season. Take care.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go.